Okay, so I'm going to try one on my new phone. I'm going to talk normally, like I do, and read normally, like I do. So I don't know if this is going to be better or worse than the other camera, but I'm willing to try and see. So this is another silly story, and this one is called The Field of Boliauns. Boliauns? Boliauns. By Joseph Jacobs. In this story, Boliaun is another name for ragwort, a common European wildflower. One fine day at harvest, during vacation, when the sun blazed high over the fields, Tom Fitzpatrick was taking a ramble through the country. He went along the shady side of a field, when all of a sudden he heard a clacking sort of noise, a little before him in the hedgerow. "Dear me," said Tom, "but isn't it surprising to hear the stone chatters singing so late in the season?" So Tom stole on, going on the tips of his toes to try to get a sight of what was making the noise, to see if he was right in his guess. The noise stopped, but as Tom looked sharply through the bushes, what should he see in a nook of the hedge but a brown jug that might hold about 1.5 gallons of liquid. By and by, a little wee teeny tiny bit of an old man sauntered up, with a jaunty little hat stuck upon the top of his head. He pulled out a little wooden stool and stood up upon it, then dipped a little mug into the pitcher, took it out full and put it beside the stool. Then he sat down under the pitcher and began to work at cobbling a shoe, putting a heel piece on a pointy-toed shoe just fit for himself. "Well, by the powers," said Tom to himself, "I often heard tell of the leprechauns, and, to tell God's truth, I never rightly believed in them. But here's one of them in real earnest. If I play my cards right, I can make my fortune. They say a person must never take their eyes off them, or they'll escape." Tom now stole on a little further, with his eye fixed on the little man just as a cat does with a mouse. When he got up quite close to him, "God bless your work, neighbor," said Tom. The little man raised up his head and, "Thank you kindly," said he. I wonder why you'd be working during vacation," said Tom. "That's my own business, not yours," was the reply. "Well, maybe you'd be civil enough to tell us what you've got in the jug there," said Tom. "That I will, with pleasure," said he. "It's good beer." "Beer?" said Tom. "Thunder and fire, where did you get it?" "Where did I get it, is it? Why, I made it. And what do you think I made it of?" "I haven't a clue," said Tom. "Malt, I suppose, at any guess." "Wrong," announced the brownie gleefully. "I made it of heath." "Of heath?" said Tom, bursting out laughing. "Sure, you don't think me to be such a fool as to believe that." "Do as you please," said he. "But what I tell you is the truth. Did you never hear tell of the Vikings?" "Well, what about them?" said Tom. "Why, when they were here, they taught us to make beer out of the heath, and the secret's been in my family ever since." "Will you give me a taste of your beer?" said Tom. "I'll tell you what it is, young man. It would be better for you to be looking after your father's property than to be bothering decent, quiet people with your foolish questions. There now, while you're idling away your time here, the cows have broken into the oats and are knocking the grain all about. Tom was taken so by surprise with this that he was just on the very point of turning around, but he suddenly realized that the leprechaun might be up to a trick. He collected himself, made a grab at the leprechaun, and caught him up in his hand. However, in his hurry, he knocked over the jug and spilled all the beer so that he could not get a taste of it to tell what sort it was. Tom then swore that he would kill the leprechaun if he did not show him where his money was. Tom looked so wicked and determined that the little man was quite frightened. So, said the leprechaun, "Come along with me a couple of fields off, and I will show you a crock of gold." So they went, and Tom held the leprechaun fast in his hand and never took his eyes off him. They had to cross hedges and ditches and a crooked bit of bog, till at last they came to a great field all full of boliaun plants. The leprechaun pointed to a big boliaun and said, "Dig under that boliaun, and you'll see the great crock all full of guineas." Tom, in his hurry, had never thought of bringing a spade with him, so he made up his mind to run home and fetch one, so that he might find the right spot when he returned. So that he might find the right spot when he returned, he took off the red garter on his arm and tied it round the boliaun plant. Then Tom said to the leprechaun, "Swear that you won't take that garter away from that boliaun." And the leprechaun swore right away not to touch it. "I suppose," said the leprechaun, very politely, "you have no further need of me?" "No," says Tom. "You may go away now, if you please, and God speed you, and may good luck attend you wherever you go." "Well, goodbye to you, Tom Fitzpatrick," said the leprechaun, "and much good may it do you when you get it." So Tom ran for dear life till he reached home and got a spade, and then away he went as fast as he could go, back to the Field of Boliauns. But when he got there, lo and behold, every single boliaun in the field had a red garter tied about it. "Whatever do I do now?" gasped Tom in exasperation. "I can't dig up the whole field, that's for sure. There's more than 40 good Irish acres in it." So Tom came home again with his spade on his shoulder, a little cooler than he went, and many's the hearty curse he gave the leprechaun every time he thought of the turn he had served him. That's impressive. So there are pictures, some pictures. Here's the leprechaun. And then on that last page, we see Tom holding a shovel. And if you look at all the flowers in the field, you can see that while Tom was away, the leprechaun tied a red garter around each and every flower. Pretty clever. The next story is called How the Dragon Was Tricked by Andrew Lang.